Hey, what's up guys, it is Psycho Sam here and welcome back to the channel, and today I decided that I would ask you guys over at Twitter what kind of video you would like to see tonight. So a lot of you guys actually voted for the FPS survival series in Unity, and I decided that I would go with it, obviously being the professional content creator that I am, and therefore I decided that I would follow your guys' suggestion and actually go with a hunting system for this video. I think that in this episode specifically we're going to cover up the AI movement, like the wandering AI, by using Nav Mesh. I'm also gonna teach you guys a little bit about Nav Mesh, and then in the next episode of the series we're going to have the hunting part complete. And before we get started guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. You guys have been smashing the like goals lately and I am so happy. Like, it seriously supports me a lot because I clearly can see what type of videos you guys would like to see more of. And if you guys want to stay up to tune for new content coming up soon, make sure to hit the subscribe button too, so that you stay up to tune and you get notified whenever I upload. And also join the discussion in our Discord server. We have a beautiful community that is built for you guys to join. And also follow me on Twitter for these kinds of videos where I ask you guys and you kind of suggest something, and then I kind of include your tweets and messages in the video itself. And now with that being said, let's get right into the video.
Yo, my name is George Jefferson, the man Maleficent. You don't know who you're messing with, I ran for president. Cause our country's in a deficit. My only testament is that we keep it so surreal, I kill myself to resurrect.
Alright guys, so here we are in Unity, and now we are going to go something real quick before we actually get into it. So as you can see, I have a new folder here called Tiger, and it's a golden tiger asset pack that or a model pretty much, just that I downloaded from the asset store. I thought that it looked cool, it was free. This is not a sponsorship by the way, it's created by Zelus Interactive. I'm gonna link it in the description if you guys want to use the same asset, but I downloaded it because you guys suggested me to have actual models for every single one of these episodes where we actually cover up something like an axe or an animal or something like that. So I decided I would have this one because it's free too. So besides that, we are going to get right into it, and I'm gonna go ahead and add a nav mesh to the plane. So I can go to window, top left corner, and then navigation. Perhaps it's not really the top left corner, but at the menu bar. Then you're gonna have the navigation, pretty much the element open here, or perhaps the tab is a better name for it. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna make sure that I select my plane, and I'm going to check the navigation static, which is going to render this as a navigatable, actually a walkable plane. And there we go, we also have it walkable, so it's perfect. If you don't have it walkable, you can have it, you can change it right away from here, from the little list. Then we're gonna go to the bake, but I don't really want to play around with these values because I think that the standard values for now are pretty good. If you want to change these values, what they're useful for is pretty much like the radius. The character is going to be able to walk close to a wall or an obstacle in general, but since we don't really have any obstacles for the moment, we don't really want to get into that. So I'm gonna go ahead and bake it right off the bat. And if you don't see this blue kind of layer on your ground or your plane, just make sure you check the show nav mesh, and then you're gonna be able to see it. As you can see, I don't see it if I disable it. So there we go. Now this is a walkable area for our AI, but we obviously have to code so that we actually let them walk around. So speaking of which, we are actually going to add our tiger now into the scene. These are only the specific animations, but I guess we could do like this. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, you know what, we're actually just going to render this or change it to legacy from the inspector. We can apply that, there we go. And we're gonna use the one that is walk. So if you're using the same one, you can just add this. Now we are also going to add it to our scene. It's a little bit smaller than I expected, there we go. Now this is not going to hunt us down for now because we are the hunter here, but I can also create, or we can obviously modify the AI further in later episodes by letting them actually hunt us as well, so that we can get killed. I can rename it Tiger as well. There we go. And walk is selected, perfect. Yeah, animations perhaps 2. And then we can also add the idle animation, but let me see here. Where is it? There it is. Wonder if we can just, yeah, there we go. Alright, cool. So you can also, yeah, let us have the idle one for animation default as well. Let's play it and see how it looks in scene. I just want to make sure. Oh, it doesn't play. Oh yeah, I know what we actually forgot doing. So we changed the animation type of the walk animation, or the walk tiger, but we did not change the one for tiger idle. So we're gonna go ahead and pick this, and we are going to put it to legacy instead of generic or generic. There we go. And then we're gonna apply that. So now it should work. We can also play the scene real quick to make sure that it's working, and there we go. Alright, so it's playing the idle animation right there, it's fine. Now we're gonna add a new component to our tiger. Oh, I already wrote it, I forgot about that, but I wrote it to not forget about this. So we're gonna add something called Nav Mesh Agent. So what this does is basically it renders your game object as a navigatable object. Pretty much a pretty good description, I think. Pretty solid at least. So I'm not going to change the default values because I'm happy with them, and we don't really want to mess around with them too much right now because it's none of our business for the moment being. But if we get to that point, obviously I'm going to teach you guys how to use these, and I will actually have to check them out myself as well. But for now, if you want to check them out for yourself, obviously go ahead and do that. It's nothing that, you know, constrains you from doing it. So now that we have this done, I am going to go to our scripts folder, create a new C# script here, and we can call this animal. And I already have one that I created, which we can delete because we're not using that. It was for testing purposes before recording the video. Oh yeah, I actually forgot to add it to our player, or the animal too. So we can go back to Unity real quick and drop it to our tiger. There we go. So now we can enter Visual Studio once again. So inside of our script here, I'm gonna start off by doing something that we regularly do as a daily routine on Psycho TV, which is going to be removing these two functions and also hopping down with this bracket. Then, actually, before we begin with the variables, I want to jump a little bit up, and like below using Unity Engine, I'm gonna import a new library. Oops, I just punched my my pop filter. This one is gonna be called unityengine.ai. So using unityengine.ai. There you go. That's as simple as it gets. And we're gonna use something from this, like a class or like a function from this library itself, the AI library. So just make sure to do that, or else you're gonna get an error. So now to the variable section, we can also we can start off by creating a public float radius, which is going to be the radius that our animal can walk inside of. And we're also setting a public float timer, which is going to be the amount of time we have the animal to like walk a certain distance and then just change the route. And we can also set a private transform target, which is going to be the route itself, or route. Do you say route? Do you say route? It's route, isn't it? Root means something else. I know it. Alright, anyway, let's act like that never happened. So we're gonna say private Nav Mesh Agent and agent. So this is going to be the component itself that we also added to the animal, and we're gonna get that component in just a bit. So before we do that, we just want to say private float current timer, which is going to be used for competing against this timer here. I'm gonna make more sense with this in just a bit, but before we do get into that, we just want to say void on enable. There we go. And inside of it, we're gonna first and foremost get the agent component, like I said. So we're gonna say agent equal to get component nav mesh agent. There we go. Oh, and also somebody in my previous video actually suggested me to zoom in a little bit more, so let me know if this zoom is pretty good right now, or else if you want me to zoom out, zoom in more, etc, etc. So we're also gonna set the current timer to be equal to timer, and now we can jump down a little bit. I don't really want to jump down with that. There we go. I am so about the design in my code, like that's such an important thing for me. Void update, our regular void that we're gonna use, and inside of it we can start off by saying current timer plus equal time dot time. So we just increase current timer by every second, and we can also check if the current timer reaches outside of the timer itself by saying if current timer higher or equal to or greater or equal to, right? It's called like that, greater. Then we're gonna say timer. So if it is greater or equal to timer, then we are going to set a new route, there we go, route for the animal to walk to. So we actually we can have a new void for this as well. I also saw some other tutorials online which were using this. So we're gonna create a public static vector3 random nav sphere, and we're gonna set a few variables or a few parameters, which are going to be vector3 origin, another one called float distance, and also int layer mask. There we go. And you're getting an error here, as you can see, but it's because we don't have anything inside of it right now. So we're gonna prevent that error from happening by just saying vector3 random direction equal to random dot inside unit sphere times distance. There we go. And let's see here. For some reason it doesn't want to stop giving an error. Oh, I see where we're making the mistake. Basically, we're trying to create a public static vector3 random nav sphere, which means that we are trying to return a vector3 at the end of this script or at the end of this function method or whatever you might want to call it. But we're not doing it yet, so we're gonna hard code this a little bit and come back to it in case we want to change up something. So under the vector3 that we just created inside of our function here, we can say random direction will be plus equal the origin. There we go. So we can jump a few lines down, and we're going to create a let's create the nav mesh hit which we're gonna return by the end of this function. So nav mesh hit nav hit, and underneath that we're also going to say nav mesh dot sample position, which is going to be where we call the nav hit itself. So we're gonna say random direction out nav hit distance layer mask. There we go. So we are pretty much just calling a function from the nav mesh script or the class itself, which is going to include the parameter random direction. So we are setting the direction to be this vector3, and we are going to out nav hit, which is a method for like pretty much detecting if there is a hit that is happening right now. And distance is going to be obviously set for calculating the distance that the AI has traveled. Also the layer mask to make sure that we have this correct here. Under that, we are now going to stop getting this error. So we're going to say return nav hit that position. There we go. Finally, no red text here. Finally. Alright, so we can go back to the if statement that we created earlier. And inside of this, we are going to say vector3 new position. Position. There we go. That was wrong spelled. Then we're going to set random nav sphere and call the parameters that we set up. So transform.position, which is going to set it to this current animal's position. Then we're going to set it to be limited to radius. And we can set the layer mask to -1 because that's kind of the default value you set for it in case you don't really want to use anything else. Because if you use a layer, it's pretty much going to either ignore that or focus on that mattering, or it's pretty much like a matter of what you want to do with the layer mask. But we don't want to really play with that, so we're going to keep it as -1. Next up, we're going to set the agent, or we're going to call something from the agent, which is going to be set destination. Which is going to be to new position, so that we move the animal to the new position set. And we can also set the current timer to be equal to 0 at the end of this, so that we actually make sure that we just reset the timer and then boom, it keeps going on again, because obviously the current timer is going to be plus by 1 every second. So I think we are actually done here. We can go back to Unity and play this game. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we didn't set the values from the inspector. So radius, I guess I could have like 100. I don't know if it might be a little bit too small, but we'll check it. The timer, let's say that the animal will change route every 3 seconds. There we go. It's a little bit clunky right now, but as you can see, it's also moving very smoothly. Maybe the timer should be like 8. I mean, that should be much better. And also, we are not playing the animation right now. So what we can do is, let's see here. We can, yeah, let's create a private bool idle. There we go. And let's see if current timer boom. Yeah, idle is pretty much going to be set to false every second. So what we can do then is we can also say private float idle timer. There we go. Yeah, we can also create a private float current idle timer, and we can set perhaps the idle timer, the regular one, to public. There we go. And now underneath the current timer, we're also going to set the current idle timer to be plus equal time dot dot time. There we go. Also on enable, we can also set the current idle timer equal to idle timer. There we go. And let's see here. Alright, so we are plussing it by every second, and we want to check if the timer has actually reached it. So yeah, we can do it before so that it gets executed first. So we're gonna every second or every frame by the game, we're gonna check if the current idle timer has reached or has gone above the idle timer itself. So we're gonna say if current idle timer greater than or equal to idle timer, pretty much like the previous one, like the underline here, then we are going to say idle equal to true. And we could perhaps say that we are going to wait like 3 seconds before we actually do something with that. And maybe we could even have a enumerator, a timer. Let me create this for a second and see how we actually can prototype with it. So idle timer, perhaps. We actually have a variable called that, so we can't really use that name. Enumerator switch idle. There we go. Alright, we can do that. We can remove the idle equal to true, and then we can say start coroutine switch idle. There we go. And inside of this, we can say yield return new wait for seconds, perhaps 3. And above this, we can also set idle to true, and then we can set idle equal to false this time. So yeah, before idle to false, we can also set the current idle timer equal to 0. There we go, so that we reset the timer as well. Now we can go back to Unity. We're gonna have to increase the idle timer here, which we can set to be perhaps 3 or 5, could be good. Yeah, we can actually check it out now and see how this works. So we're gonna see if it actually becomes idle and stops moving. Oh no, wait, it's actually not gonna stop moving, right? Because we didn't check if the for the movement part itself, we need to check and exclamation mark idle. So if idle is false. So let's see that. Let's see now. There we go, it's idle and it starts moving. Alright, so we're gonna see if it becomes idle again. Are you gonna change direction or become idle soon? Yeah, it doesn't really become idle once again, does it? Oh wait, it actually did. Are you gonna move? Yep, alright, it's working good. That was so awkward. Oh my goodness, that was so awkward. Alright, so it becomes idle at least. Now we can also set it to be playing some simple animations. So we can say if idle, then we are going to say get component, or perhaps just create a private animation, which is going to be the component itself for the animation. So we're going to say private animation anim. Yeah, it's a pretty good name. If idle, then we're going to say anim.play. No, wait, there was one crossfade. There we go. And then we can say idle. And else anim.crossfade walk. I hope these were the names, right? Yep, it is walk and idle. Alright, cool. So let's see how that works. Alright, so he's playing idle while he's idle. It's not really walking. Let me see here. Walk. Alright. Idle. Then we are going to crossfade to play or walk. I don't really know why it's not working. Hold on. Idle. There we go. So we can print idle to see. We are troubleshooting, and I want to include this in the video as well to make sure that you guys don't miss it out. Oh. Oh wow, that's interesting. Aren't we? Oh. I'm not gonna call myself stupid, but we're gonna go to avoid enabled and make sure that the anim component is set to something first and foremost. So we're gonna say anim equal to get component animation, and this is going to work. So I can actually remove the print line here. There we go. There we go. Sometimes I just question myself, contemplate my life. There we go, boys. There we go. It looks pretty cool. It has this cute little walking animation. It looks cute. Look, became idle. Boom, it starts moving again. That's actually adorable. I like it. I like it a lot. There we go. And by using Navmesh, you can also obviously detect obstacles, which we're going to implement soon as well. I just realized. Oh wait, we're not the ones moving. It's the tiger. Alright, so like I was saying, you can also have Navmesh to detect if the animal, if your little animal here is also going to like collide with a wall, so that he skips colliding with walls, etc, etc. And I can cover up that in the future episodes, so let me know in the comments if you want me to have an episode where we actually focus on that kind of stuff too. And in the next episode, we're gonna learn how to kill this animal. PETA is going to be called upon us, but we're gonna learn how to kill this cute animal, as I named him. I'm actually gonna rename it to cute animal. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna learn how to kill it, I know, and the main point is that we're going to gain loot from it. So it's going to drop some items that we're gonna give the items to. We're gonna give the items to the animal, and it's going to drop upon dying. And in the episode after that, maybe we create how the animal kills us and takes revenge or something like that. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. I'm all ears for feedback and such. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this episode of FPS Survival in Unity. And if you want to see more, like I said, drop a like down below. It really supports me a lot. And also subscribe so you stay up to date for new content. Also turn on the bell notification that YouTube forces you to turn on now, so that you get notified as soon as I upload a new episode of this or any other content that I upload on my channel. So yeah, with that being said, once again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy your time. Hope you keep enjoying your time. And also join Discord. The links are in the description in the pinned comment too. We have a beautiful community, like I said. And yeah, once again, last time, thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. Peace out, guys.
Yo, my name is George Jefferson, the man Maleficent. You don't know who you're messing with. I ran for president, cause our country's in a deficit. My only testament is that we keep it so surreal. I kill myself to resurrect. I kill myself to resurrect. You know she know I'm the man.